And he said to me in Cannes, "Oh, I'm doing a little bit of promo filming for my next movie, Escape. Would you like to take part?" So I said, "Yeah, of course, why not? It's my first Cannes Film Festival, and I get asked by this great director to come and do a little bit of promo filming."
This actually kind of starts like this. This sounds like the start of another kind of kidnapping horror
Okay.
movie. So could have gone many ways. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watcher Pass, and today I'm talking to Sarah Alexandra Marks about Escape, which is coming to digital on September 30th, 2024. I'm going to talk to her right now, and while you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. I'll spread a lot. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining me today. I've got Sarah Alexandra Marks talking about Escape, which is coming to digital on September 30th, 2024. It is an intense vacation kidnapping story that has some really great practical effects, a wonderful cast, and some twists along the way. Sarah is a main character, but there are a lot of very strong women in this film, so I'm very excited to talk to you, and thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So, how did you get involved in this film? Was this pitched as like a wonderful vacation and they just kind of like, hoodwinked you into doing this movie? Like, how did you get involved in this?
It was actually the director, Howard J. Ford, the man himself. He is great at storytelling. He brings so much magic to the way he talks you through the story and the characters. So yeah, it was Howard. He drew me in. He drew me into the role of Carla. I actually met him in Cannes at the film festival, and he said to me in Cannes, "Oh, I'm doing a little bit of promo filming for my next movie, Escape. Would you like to take part?" So I said, "Yeah, of course, why not? It's my first Cannes Film Festival, and I get asked by this great director to come and do a little bit of promo filming."
This actually kind of starts like this. This sounds like the start of another kind of kidnapping horror
Okay.
movie. So, could have gone many ways.
So far from it, he is the kindest man you'll ever meet. But I did a little bit of promo for Howard and thoroughly enjoyed the way he works. It was very short and sweet. And then there was a few of us that met up back in London, and Howard was talking me through the story, and he was saying, "I have this role of Carla, but I originally had her as this ex-army girl, but now I'm thinking she could be a nurse, and I think you could play it." And I'm thinking, whoa, is he offering me the lead role right now? And he said to me, "We're going out to the Canary Islands in 3 days. Would you come and start principal photography?" So
Wow.
I said yes. I didn't even need to think about it. The answer was yes. I knew it was something I wanted to do. I'd wanted to work with Howard ever since I heard about him from some mutual friends and watched his movie, The Ledge. So it was just a no-brainer.
Yeah, no, definitely. And look, if someone offers me, 3 days to go to the Canary Islands, like I will take that too. I don't really even care what I'm doing as long as it's legal. But no, that sounds like a pretty easy choice. But that's awesome. That's awesome that you like got offered at Con, like then got the lead role. It almost like I said, it sounds like almost a fairy tale, almost too good to be true, and yet here it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, it was very magical.
So with 3 days, did you really have much time to prepare? I mean, this is a somewhat physical role, like not like a crazy amount of physical work, but there's running, you gotta like, do some fighting, things like that. Did you have much time to prepare for that, or is it just basically like basically had to already be ready because you only had 3 days?
Luckily, I was just ready to go. I feel like as an actor, you should always be ready anyway and physically fit for any sort of challenge that you may get given. But the first block of filming was very short, and I didn't really do anything too crazy. I think I did all the stuff on the beach and in the apartment with Ksenia, so it was all quite a breeze, and it felt a bit more like a vacation than working, if I'm honest with you.
No, those looked like wonderful scenes. I mean, look, that's a nice perk, right? Like, oh no, it starts on a lovely like beach resort. I guess I have to do this. The sacrifices I have to make for my art.
Right?
But no, that's
Uh,
a good way to think about it. Like it's always good to always be prepared, especially
yeah,
because in this case, you never know when a role is going to pop up, so you got to be ready for it.
yeah, exactly. It's very important. Be on
So
the ball.
yeah, so when you got to the like more physical filming, which I guess happened later, like did you have much time to prepare for that? Did you, Or do you have a martial arts background or any sort of like physical background?
Yes, so that wasn't much longer after the first small block in the Canary Islands that happened. And yeah, as you know, I do a lot of action scenes, and the role can be quite physically demanding. But I do have an extensive background in dance, and I do think that goes hand in hand with action scenes and fight choreography. So that was super helpful to be able to move my body in certain ways. And we had a couple of the guys choreographing the fight scenes. My one in particular with Glenn Salvage, who's in the movie, the eye patch guy. So my scene with him, he choreographed everything, and he was just so kind and so great to work with as a fight choreographer. It was quite a breeze because you also have to be careful. You know, you have to make sure that you are safe and that you're not going to hurt your scene partner. So I feel like that's always lingering in the back of my mind. I don't want to hurt anyone. I think I actually had to smash a glass bottle over Glenn's
Ooh.
head. Obviously not a real one. It
Yeah.
was the sugar glass. Is that what it is? The sugar glass.
Yeah.
And I was so worried about doing it because it still feels hard, you know, and it's still an impact. And he was like, "It's absolutely fine. You can just do it. Just do it, Sarah. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay." So yeah, he made me feel okay about whacking him over the head in the
That's
scene
awesome. That's awesome. I'm
because
glad you're
he's
comfortable.
such
And
a
yeah,
nice
like it makes
guy.
it makes sense that you would be worried, right? Like accidents do happen. Like who knows if it's the right glass bottle. So it's always good to
Oh
be
gosh,
extra
yeah.
prepared.
Yeah, of course. I have heard some horror stories with things like that actually. So yeah, but everything, all the action stuff was handled with a lot of care, so went very well.
Perfect. And yeah, I think a background in dance is actually really well, like it kind of blends really well with this because, the movement, the body control, the ability to like make yourself tumble and fall through the air and stay safe. Like that is almost like a perfect background. If you don't have like a martial arts, mixed martial arts background, that's probably the second best background you could have for this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And one thing that must have made it more difficult, like you were doing these physical scenes, fighting and running in like platform sandals. I was like, how tough was that? Like that must have been difficult because if I was doing that, I'd want to be in like full fatigues, like boots, make sure I'm fully protected. And you
Right,
had
yes.
like a sheer dress and platform sandals.
See, this was not planned at all because the initial photography took place just randomly. It was the promo stuff, which ended up in the movie. So I had to go with the outfit that I picked when I was in Cannes. And I did that small smidge of filming with Howard. And there was no going back because Howard was using some of that, filming. So I could not change. I was thinking, how can I do this? Like, I can't go barefoot because there's all these thorns in the desert. So I'd rather be in these heels, but could I at some point, change shoes? And it wasn't going to work. So I just had to bite the bullet and I ran in heels the entire time.
Oh yeah, and those were thick heels. It wasn't when you could just like break off the end and be okay. No, those
Yeah.
were. There's no way you were gonna fix that. Maybe if you had the knife, you could shave it off, but that would have taken too much time, and you would have been vulnerable. So
Yes, it was a
yeah,
wedge of a
that's.
shoe.
But that also kind of probably makes it more realistic, right? Like you picked the clothes for the beach, so you weren't thinking about the future, and then you had to deal with it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true.
So, were you able to spend some more time in the Canary Islands after principal filming? Because, it must have been a short trip. Were you able to like make a vacation out of it, a safe, non-kidnapping vacation out of it?
Actually, I didn't stay after the filming had finished, but I do believe we had a couple of days off here and there spread out. One accidental day off because a cyclone hit the island.
Oh,
So the rain was just insane and we couldn't shoot anything. Well, that's a lie. We did actually shoot one tiny little thing. I think we were driving to the next accommodation venue and it stopped raining probably for about 10 minutes. So Howard said, quickly, let's jump out and get that shot of you looking out to Sophie's character Lucy as she's about to go into the cave when she's being chased by the two guys. So we shot that tiny, tiny little section there. So it wasn't a completely wasted day.
Indie filmmaking at its finest. Maximize every
Every,
little bit that you have.
you have to, don't you, with indie movie making?
And what a lovely thing. Like, you were probably missing home, and so a rainstorm came and reminded you of London. It must have been
Yeah.
perfect.
Just to make you feel at home.
Exactly. So, how was it like with the rest of the cast? Had you worked with any of them before, or was this all kind of like a new experience for you to meet all these people and work with them?
I'd actually worked with Sean Cronin before on a movie called Kilcane with Vinnie Jones, but that was years and years before. I think we shot that movie in 2015. And then I'd worked with Louis James, who plays Jude, a whole bunch of times on a few feature films and lots of short movies. Um, so they were really the only two that I had worked with, and everyone else was new work colleagues for me. But Howard picked a team so well that we all gelled and we got along like family, actually, like a house on fire. So it was great.
That's awesome. This must have been a lot of fun to shoot. And what a contrast of characters. Sean Cronin's character versus Louis James's character. There's like polar opposites, but both like very good in their roles.
Oh yeah, they're both brilliant actors and such a joy to work with. You know, they're both the baddies, really, aren't they? But Jude, Louis' character, has a great arc, and he has some redemption with his character, and he sort of becomes the Trojan horse,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
which wasn't actually originally planned. This
Oh,
happened just off the cuff one evening, and they were talking about Jude, his character in the movie, and this was Louis and Howard actually. And Louis was just saying as a joke, you know, what if Jude isn't dead? And then Howard's like, hang on a minute, I think we could go somewhere with this. And I was thinking, oh, he's definitely joking, Howard. I think he's pulling Louis's leg, but he absolutely was not. And and then the story went on from there. So it happened actually quite nice. It was really quite cool to see that creativity happen like that.
yeah, no, that's awesome. I liked, yeah, like you said, the Trojan horse aspect of it. It was nice to see his character come around, even though he did bad things before. He did what he could to try to rectify that.
Yeah, yeah, he felt bad, didn't he? And
He
that
should.
guilt, yeah, well, he just couldn't live with the guilt, could he? He had to come back and try his best.
Yeah, exactly. Now, one other thing I loved about this film is I loved all the practical effects. Like, it's always great when you go practical for some gore. This film has some gore. What was it like? You didn't get a ton of them, but you had some, cuts and bruises along the way. What was it like in that makeup and with the practical effects team?
I really love being loaded up with dirt and blood. I don't understand how anyone does not like it because for me, if I've just got loads of blood and dirt, I know for one on camera that looks epic in movies. I love watching that. The movie Abigail, and at the end of it, the lead actress, her whole face is actually drenched in blood. I just
Mhm.
think it looks so cool
Yeah.
for a horror movie. And plus, you can let go with how you look. If you have to have pristine makeup and like a really glamorous look, you're always having to get touched up and look a certain way. But if you've got mud and blood, oh, it doesn't matter. It all goes out the window, and you can just relax and just be. So it was brilliant. But Chelsea, the makeup artist, she's so talented. She's so fast at what she does. She's a whiz. She's a makeup wizard in movies, and yeah, she's a great girl to work with.
That's awesome. And it probably makes for some really great like Instagram pictures too, when you just post a picture of yourself with all these cuts with maybe no
Yeah,
explanation. That'd be
yeah. Although if they are looking quite bad because they do look very realistic, they might not even make it on there. They'll think, Instagram might think it's real.
Oh yeah, content filter. I didn't think
Yeah.
about that. So I know we have limited time, so I'm gonna switch to I call it a lightning round. There's lightweight questions about the film. I want to see how your personal experiences map to things in the movie. Feel free to skip any of them. I won't be offended, but I try to keep them answerable.
Okay.
I hope the answer is no. But the first question, we'll start with a bang. Have you ever been kidnapped?
No.
Okay, good. Good. Excellent. The lighter question next. Where was your last beach vacation?
Beach vacation. It must have been Cannes.
All right. Cam,
Cannes.
when you got this role, that's awesome.
Well, this was the latest Cannes,
Oh, okay.
actually. Yeah,
Very
but
nice.
Cannes, the place, yeah, where I got
Very
the role.
nice. Uh, do you travel alone?
Not always, no. Actually,
What?
mostly never travel alone.
That's good. After this movie, good advice. Never travel alone.
Never travel alone, no. Especially as
Although
a girl.
it didn't help you in this movie, but potentially it could have.
Yeah, no, because I wasn't alone.
Yeah. A lot of this movie involves, not I guess updating your family, not checking in with your family. How often do you call your mom?
I call my dad every day, at least once a day.
Perfect. So if anything happened to you, he would know. He would know that something was going on. He'd be able to then, call it in and try to figure out what was happening next.
Yeah, if I didn't make that one call a day, he'd think, what's going on? Why has she not called me? Yeah,
Perfect. This movie, your character also had a sibling in this film. Do you have any siblings?
I have one brother.
Alive and well?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. And the last question, have you ever met someone sketchy on holiday?
Anyone sketchy? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have. I think that's quite easily achieved, right?
I think so. But you were smart and you avoided the situation, I hope.
Yes, always.
Excellent. Smart traveler, doesn't travel alone, checks in with her father, avoids sketchy people. All the
Yep.
lessons you have learned from this movie.
Uh-huh. I have my wits about me.
Excellent. So the film is coming to digital on September 30th, 2024. You are promoting that game, the word out, letting people know. But after people see you in Escape, are there any other projects on the horizon people can look forward to from you?
Yes, I have an action adventure film, River of Blood, which is also a Hal J. Ford picture that should be out next year. And I have a horror, The Manor of Darkness, directed by Blake Ridder, produced by Lucas A. Ferrara and Louis James, the man himself, Jude. And I'm going on the producing side of things actually for two horror movies, The Feed and The Hag, and I'll also be starring in those.
That's awesome. A lot of horror. I am looking forward to it. I love horror, so I'm excited to see what is coming next for me. But first, people can check out Escape coming to digital on September 30th, 2024. This is the main star, Sarah Alexandra Marks. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.